Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to sBarre and the Resurgence of Sanity. How are you doing, guys?
Doing
Doing
fine.
good.
Doing
You made it back
good?
home.
Yeah. Well, today we have an interesting topic. It's kind of based on the topic that you talked about on Wednesday. Was it on Wednesday when uh, you were doing a live stream?
Yeah. What were we talking? Oh yeah, Jesus is my
My
boyfriend.
boyfriend. Yes, yes. Jesus is my boyfriend. So this
What a
one
bunch
is,
of shit. Well,
yeah,
there's
I
your
know.
thing.
This one is based on that. This is where women choose to go celibate.
Oh,
And yeah, I prepared a few videos for you as an example, guys. So we might start with them, unless you have other thoughts. Steve, do you want to begin with
Steve,
something
can
else?
women really be
No.
celibate?
Well, we are about to find out, Nick. I don't want to do the spoiler here, but we are about to listen
Oh, okay.
through some of these videos. They're not very long. One of them was on Instagram, another one was on YouTube, but I haven't responded to the one on YouTube. I don't think I left her a comment there, but I did definitely respond to the one on Instagram, and I don't think she particularly liked me for my response there.
What
But
were
I,
you shaming the
Imagine
304
that.
again, Elena?
huh? What are you
Were you
saying?
shaming the 304 like your introductory video says?
I didn't call her that. Well, let's see. I'm going to show you that video and you're going to see what I wrote there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh, well, we'll start with the YouTube video because I have it lined up here. So let's
Okay.
check this one first. Okay. And let me see if I can zoom it. Okay.
How long is this video?
This one is 13 minutes, but we
Okay.
might skip the introduction because she takes forever to begin the video. I
Yeah, I
hate it
was.
when they do it, you
So
know?
she has 2 minutes of information in a 13-minute video.
Pretty much, you know, but we will kind of skim through it if I remember it correctly. I did watch the whole thing. I just didn't put the timestamps for it, so we kind of have
How
to.
old is she now?
Well, look at her. Can you see her? Um,
She looks like she's Wall.
yeah. Well, maybe
Oh,
beyond the wall.
she's late 30s. Looking good for late
Yeah, Wall.
30s, but
Yeah.
Wall.
Wall, yeah, pretty much. And it's My Journey with Celibacy, the playlist is called, and the video is called This Bible Verse Changed How I See Marriage and Singleness Forever. Okay, let's begin.
Video has been on my heart because I was celibate for 10 years and wrestled very intently and deeply, even wrote like part of a thesis on holy virginity, on actually choosing celibacy as a Christian, as a lifestyle, not as second best or as something that is just for those unlucky few that don't have the opportunity to find their soulmate, or I don't believe in soulmates, but find a person to raise a family with or to fulfill a biblical marriage. And I grew up in a Protestant context, and I saw this kind of cultural push towards maturity is when you get married. Maturity is when you have kids and get the house. You kind of tick those adult boxes. And I really wrestled with that because there is no guarantee that any of us are going to have a spouse or that lifestyle is going to be fulfilled. That doesn't mean we get out of longing for that, but I saw a lot of my friends, and I even shared longing that was really frustrating. And I felt like the conversations around singleness, celibacy, and choosing marriage was really just about how do you wait? How do you wait well? Roommates are practicing. And I just felt really off put by that it wasn't actually true, that being single is not second best until you get married, that that's somehow not the greater good. And I'm actually going to share with you a Bible verse that there's a couple Bible verses actually that really shifted this for me. But I'm just going to share one because one is key sometimes to just like process and meditate. It's from Matthew 19. And it's with Jesus talking about how some cannot hear the word. And I'll get to it a little bit later, but just some context. So I did a part of a thesis called Holy Virginity, Reinventing Celibacy in the Evangelical Church. I'm botching my title. I wrote it like 8 years ago. And I really wrestled with singleness from St. Augustine's perspective and Gregory of Nyssa and a couple other obviously key people from the Bible, and thought about how in a Catholic kind of school of thought, I'm not trying to offend anybody's faith denomination at all. I'm just talking about my experience. In the Catholic school of thought, that there's this actual like vocation to be a priest or to, be a nun. So there's a category for people to actually contemplate and choose with God the life of celibacy versus marriage. And of course, I'm not going to get into any of that, whatever, but I'm just talking about from a Protestant perspective. In growing up in a more charismatic church, the Vineyard, non-denominational or Baptist churches, there was this emphasis on you need to get married. A lot of pastors couldn't actually pastor unless they had a spouse because they were afraid of sexual, issues. And really, I thought that was truncating their developmental growth spiritually and sexually. But that's another topic. So it was frustrating to have people ask me, when are you getting married, and have that be the ideal? Because I felt that the longing in my heart was for something deeper than actual marriage. And I really wrestled with discerning, is celibacy something I actually can choose in a modern day
How long does it
context?
take
Not
her
to
to
be
get
like
to a
girl
point?
boss, or I'm just trying to make lemonade.
Hold on. What, Nick?
How long is it going to take her to get to the point?
Yeah, I know. She's taking a while here. And then remember,
She's doing the female thing. I get it. Let's talk
yeah.
all the way around it and around it. And when are you going to actually arrive at the point? Okay, so sorry.
She says that at the beginning, this is why I wanted you to catch the beginning, that being married is not that fulfilling. So in pursuit of happiness, it's not going to bring that happiness because there is no guarantee.
I don't think she said that marriage isn't fulfilling, but she's just saying there's no guarantee that you're going to get married.
Well, there is no guarantee
I
that...
didn't really see anything wrong with what she's saying yet.
Nick, I think she said that being married is not a guarantee of fulfilled life.
No, it's not. But nobody has that guarantee. It's not. What's a fulfilled life, too? According to what standard? You think the people living 200 years ago didn't have a fulfilled life because they probably didn't go outside their state? They had to work.
Yeah.
They had responsibility.
She's looking at fulfillment as a gift, something that just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't have to work on being fulfilled. It's like I have no responsibility or accountability for doing the work that creates a fulfillment. It's just I'm entitled to fulfillment, but there's no guarantees, so maybe I won't go for it.
Yeah. Well, let's keep watching because I don't quite remember.
Out of lemons. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually choosing it as a way of serving Christ and being united with Him in a...
See, like the emphasis is so on united with Christ, not with the actual man on this planet Earth. It fits straight into Jesus is my boyfriend.
She's doing this kind of like a mystical union. It's like almost like a romantic. I don't know. All believers in Christ, through regeneration, through faith, however you want to slice it, Catholic, Protestant, there's a union with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You're spiritually united to Christ as, the federal head, the God man, very God and very man, the second person of the Trinity. You are united to Him. And yeah, it's a spiritual union. But it doesn't mean that she might be taking that union in another way that's kind of like some of these these medieval mystic ladies did that I talked about, like Marjorie Kemp or something like that I talked about on Wednesday, where it's almost like this romanticized union.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is my boyfriend type thing.
Point out her language is different from that of a man. And I'll paraphrase or talk about a Catholic priest. Okay. Gone to seminary, he's chosen celibacy. And what does he say? I have chosen to serve Christ. Word is serve. He's talking about celibacy. Oh, I have chosen to be united with Christ. Well, men don't talk that way. Nick was right. It is true, but they don't use that language. So when she said, she didn't say serve Christ. She said united with Christ, which tends to go to the Jesus is my boyfriend
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah. And she didn't choose that path at the beginning. She probably slept with a bunch of guys before she hit the wall. And then suddenly she decided to be united with Jesus.
She already gave that away.
She already had her hoe phase.
She said, I was celibate for 10 years. Okay.
Yeah,
She's
but
probably,
before
40
10
years old?
years, look, if she's in her 40s because she's not a young girl, she said celibate for 10 years. She didn't say celibate for my entire life. I'm a nun, right?
Right. And then she's
No,
talking
you can
about
become a
holy
nun
virginity.
afterwards. It's fine.
She's talking about holy virginity. You're either celibate and you're okay, that means zero man in the past up until this point. But if you're celibate for 10 years and talking about holy virginity, is this holy
No.
second virginity?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Exactly.
They're not the same. It's not this born again virgin bullshit.
Yeah. Well, this is what they seem to believe, and she's not the only one who says
I mean,
this.
hey, but if she's closing her legs, that's a good thing.
Yeah, right.
No,
But then
I mean,
also,
like, hey, I'm against promiscuity, so if, you don't want to be a 304-year that even though you might have been used to be one. Okay, good.
well, you close your legs and
legs
then
are
you go
closed.
away. You don't need to go public with this video. You
Yeah,
don't need to
okay.
virtue signal. Then, okay, if I chose to close my legs and then let's say I decided to go pray to God and stay in the monastery somewhere, right? Because I chose that path. And why do I need to announce it? Why do I make it? Why do I need to make it public so that the whole world knows about my path? And then they virtue signal for me, they simp for me, right? And then they want to wipe me up because I'm such a virtuous woman. I chose a different path to keep my legs closed, and I announced it to the rest of the world. I mean, come on. Okay, let's keep watching here.